municipal tool that supports MARTTF. So thank you all for attending. You have the roll call, Lisa.
Roll's been taken.
No declarations, no presentations. We have items for consideration. Moved by John, seconded by Rose. Should we go ahead and vote on the minutes, and then we'll deal with the item for consideration? Those in favor of the minutes? Carries. So 4.1. Kara, did you want to make a brief presentation, or how would you like to go through this?
I can absolutely provide a little bit of an overview on the
Sure.
report if that's helpful. Following the last Municipal Accommodation Tool Task Force meeting in August, staff were directed to develop the structure and implementation plan for a MAT program in Brantford at 4%, conduct a public consultation campaign, and prepare a business case study regarding the creation of a municipal services corporation. So the business case study that was attached to this report outlines the purpose, mandate, and objectives and governance structure of the proposed, what we would call Brantford Tourism Development Corporation, if the name is available. It was attached to the public consultation campaign, which was socialized through a Let's Talk Brantford campaign that staff collaborated with in conjunction with Communications and Community Engagement Department. That campaign ran from October 18th to November 3rd, was distributed via email, e-newsletter, and advertised on the city's social media channels. And we received 170 responses back from both residents and business owners in the community. From this survey, the highest number of respondents indicated that they would like to see MAT funds put towards upgrades to tourism infrastructure, such as stadium or convention center upgrades, while the exact same amount of respondents indicated that they would like to see an increase in events in Brantford. Another popular choice included grant opportunities for local businesses, programming, and new public art or art installations to beautify the community. So upon approval of this report, staff will take the following next steps in order to hit our implementation date of March 1st, 2024. And that includes preparing a municipal bylaw for approval of the collection of the MAT, signing a contractual agreement with ORMA so they can begin training local hotel and motel staff on collection and remittance practices, and establishing a municipal services corporation and filing for incorporation with our legal services team.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Questions and comments from committee members? Well, I'll just jump in to start. Okay. With respect to the fifth item in the recommendation regarding the 5 citizen member appointments, I think it would probably be appropriate, since this is a municipal corporation, for there to be a more substantive dive into the qualifications and suitability of candidates. So how would you suggest that we amend that wording to have the 4 council members do interviews of respective candidates? It's not typical of our standard process. I think we should probably speak to that in our recommendation to council.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor McCreary, that would probably mean striking the clause related to following the appointments process, because that really isn't. You do review resumes, but if you want to do a deeper dive, then you could probably strike that and amend it with kind of a recruitment committee made of the current members. And it could still be a similar process to the appointments process, but it could be a little bit more strategic.
Councillor Celeste?
Yeah, how would we entice people to apply through the standard, and then anybody that you think might be good could be suggested, that type of thing? Tell them to apply.
Through the chair to you, Councillor Celeste. This will be unlike other communities where there will be an honorarium. So they will be paid board members.
They will be paid?
They will be paid. That's what we're proposing anyway as the structure. And we think that that will entice people to want to join, as well as that they have a budget, whereas unlike other committees, they can make recommendations, but they don't have voting rights. And in this situation, they would. And I think that they have a greater opportunity to make an impact in our community, which will attract high-level individuals on this committee.
What were you anticipating it as an honorarium for that?
Yeah, what did sorry, I have to go back to what the budget was, the draft budget that we were working on, that hasn't really been approved, but we can provide that information
Yeah, well,
to
I guess
the recruitment
the
committee.
reason I ask, I don't want to chew up all the money on honorariums. Like, it's nice to give them something to say thank you, and I think that's a good idea. But as long as it's mindful that what we're giving them, we can't give someone else that's gonna bring a tournament in or
Yep.
put a play on or whatever it is.
Yeah, so through the Charter Councillor Celeste, we have asked other municipal services corporations how much they do pay as an honorarium, and it ranges from anywhere from $250 per meeting to $6,000 per year. So we would be looking at that
Okay.
range.
We gotta be careful. That's more than the police services board.
Police Services Board, I believe, is somewhere between 500 and 600 per month.
Per month, so that's about around 6,000 a year.
Through the chair, what we had in our draft budget, which hasn't been approved yet, was 100 per committee member per meeting. So that's 5 committee members getting $100, 10 times a year, so $5,000 budget.
So
And that could be, voted on and debated.
That's $100 per
Per
meeting,
meeting.
per person.
Mhm.
Okay, so that if they did 12 meetings, it'd be $1,200. Okay, that makes,
reasonable.
yeah. What we don't want to do is get some other committee out of joint because they feel they're being overworked and underpaid. So, okay. All right, yeah, good.
would a member of the committee like to propose an amendment to how we're going to recruit and appoint?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess then it would read something, well, you probably heard it, you probably got it down better than I'm gonna say it, but basically what we want to capture is that once folks have been recruited to apply through the various channels that we use, that the current members of the MAT task force interview and make recommendations to council. And part of the description would be anticipated monthly meetings.
Through the chair, we often don't do summer months or December, so maybe it would be 10 times a year instead of 12.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, the reason they should almost be at the call of the chair. There should be a structure, like maybe once a month or whatever, but then there should be at the call of the chair. Because what happens is, at least I hear it all the time, groups that are doing something, they put in an application at the foundation, and 4 months after their event's been held, their application gets dealt with because the timing doesn't jive. So what I don't want to do is create something that people are applying for stuff and they've already had their event and you know what I mean? So we've got to be very timely. So I think we should have that ability. You're the chair here, Mr. Chair. Does it make sense to you that we have a structured meeting of monthly and at the call of the chair?
And I think that's what the staff are proposing. And sorry, if I'll comment since John's raised the matter. The first year we'll probably meet every month, but we may find that as time goes on and we establish our parameters, we may not meet quite as frequently, right?
Yeah.
Corporations generally don't meet monthly.
Right. It's going to be dynamic. Like, we don't know. It'll be what it is.
And through the chair, we're also proposing to hire 1 administrative staff as well, so that will help alleviate any thing falling through the cracks. They can keep on top of
Okay.
that.
All right.
Sorry, Counselor, through the chair, if I may,
Sure.
just to the amendment first. So following 5 citizen members be appointed to the corporation following a recruitment committee process composed of the members of the Municipal Accommodation Tool Task Force to make recommendations to, and would you like that to be to council or to the appointments committee? Because it would be appointments committee that would make recommendations normally. So just to follow that process through, or would it be more appropriate in your mind to have it go directly to
Are we
council?
going to get it through timely that way? Like, I don't know, what's the implementation date? Are we looking at early
Through
next
the
year?
chair, March 1st is the
March
target
1st.
date.
Okay,
I can't speak to the timeline for an appointments committee. I
Well, there-
imagine we could facilitate a meeting in January in order to bring it to
okay. It would
February.
probably be the
to
only
follow
item
through.
on it,
So appointments committee would be your,
I guess. Does that,
Sarah, did you want to jump in?
Yes, so through the chair, you require a board in place in order to incorporate. So I would advise that you not wait until the February or March meeting, because you will not be able to incorporate if you don't have those
Right,
members
okay.
in place, or you'll have to go back and redo your incorporation documents. So you might have to move a little bit separately from the appointments committee, and it might be advisable then to report directly to Cal
Just go
so
right
that
directly.
it's a
Yeah.
little quicker.
Yeah, okay.
We need that incorporation to be in place before we can start collecting the map.
Makes sense.
No, I think it needs to go to council directly, well, through Callan and council. Given, this is a little different, it's outside of what we're normally appointing through appointments, and given the weight of what these individuals will be doing, I fully support where we're going.
Your recommendation is to hire a full-time person?
So through the chair, it'll be the board of directors' responsibility to make any recommendations on hiring. So that is something that we might want to propose to them, but we are not making a formal proposal at this time. What we're talking about is the direction to form the board of directors to allow us to incorporate, and it's the board of directors' responsibility to
Then we'll
determine what they
figure out
want
a
to do with
structure.
the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
So then this will be, this is coming to council next week. This report.
Next
No,
week.
through the chair, it will go to, I believe, to Cal PA for the December cycle.
I wonder if we could, light it on next week's agenda as a quick item,
We
given our
have-
time frame.
we can have some offline discussions about that. I think we need some waive the rules and things in
Yeah.
place procedurally.
The
to
C-
reports at the
The
bottom.
CAO can approve this coming direct.
We'll have to have some
Yeah.
chats about that process and see if that's something that's.
An emergency
potentially on.
report, I believe he calls
It's urgency, yeah, urgent
Yeah.
report.
it. Is that a discussion you would like to undertake? Or should I undertake
So
it?
that's
Or-
typically clerks will work with the CAO because
Okay.
the
Chair, I will take
report
that up with
comes from clerks.
my office. Will take that up.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. So then our timing really is quite critical. Have you already secured a spot in the busy legal calendar? I hope you
Through the
don't secure the
chair.
corner of the desk for storage.
Yes, through the chair to counselor or to the chair. Our Commissioner of Community Development has experience creating municipal services corporations, and he will be leading this incorporation
Nice,
process.
okay. So we can be very confident that it won't end up on the corner desk.
I'm very confident, yes.
Accruing storage charges. Right. Yeah, it's a good work on this. It's been
Yeah.
such a long time coming. Any other questions from committee members or comments? Anything you guys want to add?
Do we have to put anything in there?
Oh, we have an amendment on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
that we have to
Yes,
vote
if we
on
can vote
first.
on the
Yes.
amendment first.
Let's vote on that. Those in favor? And that's unanimous. Sorry about that. So go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say, we've got to get advertising out for recruitment as fast as we're going to council.
Mhm.
Because we need these folks then to create the corporation.
Through the chair, that will be part of my conversation with my colleagues in bringing this, if we're bringing this to
Do
council.
you need that in
especially.
the resolution anywhere?
I don't think so. I think we can undertake it within our department to ensure that recruitment is occurring as quickly as possible.
should probably be
on these approvals.
Drafted tomorrow and out on Monday.
So I think until we have approved the resolution at council, we would probably need to wait until that time in order
Okay.
to go ahead with the communications, but we would be prepared to make those submissions.
Wednesday morning, we could get it out there.
Absolutely.
In the interim, could you produce sort of a schedule that backs up to indicate dates of placing the ad or dates of having the interviews and how that relates to our need for a hurry up offense on this?
We can work with our commissioner on that. He knows the incorporation timelines much better than we do.
Yeah, because it may be quite protracted. Great. Well, let's go ahead and vote on the resolution as amended then. Those in favor? And that's unanimous. So we don't have anything else before us, so we are adjourned. Thank you very much, folks.
No, my schedule says we're here till 3:30.
What else do you want to talk about?